Hi, boys and girls. Today we are reading page 1 through 14 from The Mystery of the Missing Hummingbirds by Becca Hathaway and Carrie Zarlenko. You may choose to read this yourself, or you may want to listen to me read it. If you'd like to listen to me read it, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Ooh, what's happening in this picture? I'm seeing, it looks like a classroom that's got big glass windows. Do you recognize these types of birds? I think those are hummingbirds, aren't they? That looks like maybe they're drinking from this feeder. All right. Our classroom is too hot, complained Simon. He opened a window and a warm breeze rushed in. Miss Patel got her students' attention and said, "Isn't it funny that even though school has started, it is still summer? Class, what does summer mean to you?" "Not being in school," blurted Simon. The class giggled. Dennis raised his hand. "Swimming at the pool makes me think of summer," he said. "It is still light out after dinner, so I can play outside. That's what summer means to me," commented Anita. Simon added, "Seeing lots of flowers, bees, and butterflies in the garden reminds me of summer." "Great ideas, class," commented Mrs. Patel. "One of our projects this school year is to do a scientific investigation about how our school's garden changes during summer, fall, winter, and spring. Let's go outside now and observe the garden in summer." Can you think of something that reminds you of summer? When I think of summer, I think of camping and warm nights. Oh, here they are out in the garden. What would you observe if you were sitting out in this garden? The class went outside to the garden to make their observations. "I smell flowers," said Simon. "I hear birds chirping," said Dennis. "Hey, where did Anita go? She was just here, but now I don't see her." Miss Patel wandered around the garden to watch what the children were recording in their journals. When she got to the bench where Anita sat, Miss Patel commented, "Wow, Anita, I love all the details you are putting in your hummingbird sketch." Anita looked up with a sparkle in her eye. "This bird is so cool, Miss Patel. Listen to the buzzing from its wings. I had no idea hummingbirds were that noisy. I also didn't know how small they are. This one is smaller than my hand." Simon looked up from his journal and said, "Here we go again. Last year, Anita always talked about critters in the soil. I guess this year it's going to be hummingbirds." Oh. What's changed from the last picture we saw? Look outside the window of the classroom. Look how different this looks. Why does it look so different outside? What's happened? One autumn morning, a few months later, Anita rushed into class to find Miss Patel. Miss Patel said, "Anita, you look upset. What is wrong?" Anita replied, "They're gone." "Who is gone?" asked Miss Patel. "The hummingbirds. Ever since I saw them in our garden, I have been watching them every day. Sometimes I see them by the flowers, and sometimes they are by the hummingbird feeder. But I was always able to see them somewhere. Where are the hummingbirds? It has been 3 days since I have seen any of them," Anita exclaimed. "Slow down, Anita," said Miss Patel calmly as the bell rang and the other students came into the classroom. "I am not sure what has happened to the hummingbirds, but your question comes at the perfect time. Today our class is going to choose a question for our science investigation. Tell the class about this hummingbird mystery. It might make an interesting investigation." That afternoon, Miss Patel gathered the class together. We have made observations in our garden during the seasons of summer and autumn, she told the class. What kinds of changes have you noticed? Use your journals to come up with some ideas. Then we will choose a question for our science investigation. As the students took turns describing their observations and asking questions, Miss Patel recorded their ideas on a chart. Eventually, Anita raised her hand and said, I am worried about the hummingbirds. They used to be in the garden or at the feeder, but I hadn't seen them for 3 days. Dennis replied, Me too. I wonder if something has changed in our garden that made the hummingbirds go away. The whole class chimed in that they agreed with Anita and Dennis. Well, it sounds like we have our research question. First, the hummingbirds were in our garden, and now they are gone. We will investigate why they left and where they went. It said, Why are the leaves changing colors? Some leaves have fallen off the trees. Most flowers aren't blooming anymore. There were a lot of butterflies in summer. The garden has different colors in autumn than in summer. The squirrels are busy gathering nuts. Why is it warmer in summer than autumn? Some flowers got taller at summer's end. Where did the hummingbirds go? It's going to take some work to answer this question, said Dennis. We'll all have to work hard, Anita agreed. The students broke into 3 groups. Anita's group did internet research in the computer lab. Dennis's group went to the school library to gather information from books and maps. And Simon's group sent out emails to friends and family around the country to see if any of them had information on these hummingbirds. Those are all great resources that you could use when you're researching something that you're interested in. You could think of a question to answer and then do a research project where you read on the internet, maybe you read in some books, maybe you email some experts. What a great idea. Oh, here they are reading in the library. Their email says, Dear Uncle Bill, are there hummingbirds where you live? They used to be here, but they left. Our class is trying to figure out where they went. Love, Simon. When the class shared their research findings a few weeks later, each group was bursting with excitement about what they had learned. Miss Patel asked each group to reveal their most important fact. Anita gushed. We now know what kind of hummingbird comes to our garden. It's called the ruby-throated hummingbird. Only the adult males actually have a red throat. That's how they got their name. Next, Dennis explained. We learned that these hummingbirds migrate south to Mexico and other countries in Central America. They leave where we live in Pennsylvania by October and don't come back until spring. So Pennsylvania is where the star is on the map. It says our school in Pennsylvania. It's up in the northeast, very close to New York. So we're about here on the map, somewhere right in here. They're way up here. Last, Simon's group shared that they talked to family and friends from around the United States. They learned that the ruby-throated hummingbirds had also left those locations. Simon added, My Uncle Bill lives in South Carolina, and he saw the last hummingbird there a few weeks after we saw our last one. So let me show you. South Carolina is right in here. So south of Pennsylvania, pretty even with Arkansas. We also emailed my cousin Ernesto in Costa Rica to find out if ruby-throated hummingbirds live there in the winter. The class could hardly wait to hear back from Ernesto. They hoped they could help them solve this mystery. Okay, so this says Escuela de Guanacaste. And we'll find out more about what's happening in this picture when Mrs. Cunningham finishes reading the book to you tomorrow. Don't forget to answer your science questions.